Hit the record button.
So any questions from the board or the public?
You said the names should be submitted by November the 30th, right, Bill?
Yes.
Okay,
And there'll be an email going out that has that information to the membership and the list, the email list.
Yeah, the nominating committee approved that email on Wednesday, I think. So David
Okay.
has it, and it just has to be released.
all right. Any questions at all? All right, let's go back to Helen then for her. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sue Ann.
Yeah, it's not important. I don't remember if it was 3 years ago or 6 years ago, but I wasn't running. I wasn't going, yeah, I was up for, re-election, and I didn't run. We elected someone was elected, and within a day or two, before we could even announce, he withdrew. So we had that situation of an empty seat. So I went ahead and said, okay, I'm elected by acclamation. In other words, I just threw my hat in the ring and got elected anyway, even though I
Okay.
wasn't. And that's how we solved it that year.
Yeah, I just remember past practice.
Yeah.
That's why I
Right.
mentioned it.
But there was
At
a
least 3
time,
nominees.
but we hadn't even announced who the winners were. And this person didn't even know he had won yet. And he said, I'm sorry, I've got to withdraw my nomination because I've got things going on here at home in Ohio that I won't be able to serve. So he withdrew the election.
Okay. Helen, do you have your report?
Yes. Okay. In the general fund, we started, let me jump ahead here. David, these were posted, right? On the web?
Yeah, yes, they were.
Yes, so you can find all of this on the website. It's posted there. The beginning balance for our general fund was $14,455.70. We took in for the third quarter only on reporting $387.26 in membership dues. That was our only income. Our expenses were $318.69, the only expense for the quarter, and that was for the printing of the newsletter. That left our ending balance at $14,524.27, an net income of $68.57. The Island Access Fund began at $101,315.64. The walking interest for the quarter was $2.55, ending balance of $101,318.19. The community center has $5,404.82 with 14 cents interest, ending balance of $5,404.96. That gives a total bank assets of $121,247.42. Any questions on that?
Is that going to be, is that posted on the website yet? I forgot to look this one.
I just asked David. He said yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
it should. So I know I kind of whipped through those numbers pretty quickly, but it's all posted there for you, probably every quarter. Yes, David?
Yes,
Thank you.
every quarter I get it.
That's what I thought.
Just so you know, I mean, and y'all should have gotten it, but every member will actually, more than members, will get an email that says, hey, the meeting's coming. Here's the link to the page where all the documents are posted. So you just have to click the link and you can see all the documents. So it's easy. And it'll be sent out prior to the meeting, so it's a good time to review before you get here.
Okay, any other questions of Helen? Do we need a motion to approve the financial report?
We did the board meeting.
Okay,
We did.
all right. Moving on, next topic is formation of the nominating committee. We already discussed that. The nominating committee is Bill, Sue Ann, and Aaron. Bill has already given us a little rundown of what he's planning to do and dates that people have to have their names submitted. So unless you have any questions about that, we can move on. Anyone have any questions? All right. let's move on to the Tiki Hut Welcome Center and Island Access Fund. Rich?
Yeah, well, as we see in Helen's report, we have $100,000 sitting in the bank, not earning any interest, not doing any good. And it was earmarked just for island access. We had an election a while back and the members didn't vote to free that up. They want to keep it for island access. So right now, the drop-off point over by Barnacles, there's no protection for suitcases, no protection for packages, no security, no garbage pickup. It's kind of like the Wild West over there. So I had a few discussions with people from Mainstay and suggested that if we had the Island Access Fund, could we install a tiki hut, keep it in seeing the island, you know, make it look presentable, about the same size as what Pineland has over their marina for loading and unloading the boat and dropping off packages. I did get a few prices, but I didn't realize how big the one is over there. That the prices that I got were for a smaller one, so it might be a larger amount. I just feel that, you know, and also controlling the golf carts parking over there. People have been taking golf carts that don't belong to them and having designated parking spots and maybe charging the nominal fee for that to offset the cost of the garbage pickup might be part of the discussion. But this is just to open up the discussion, and I think a lot of the people on the board are for this, and it would benefit any UCCA member needing a drop-off point that doesn't belong to you know, Safety Harbor or NCIC. So I just wanted to present it out there. I don't know if we get any comments from the board or the public or any of the other interested parties. Now would be a good time to do that.
There was a period, oh, how many years ago? 6+ years ago, we had a contract with what was then Barnacles with the Skinners. UCCA did, we paid them, I don't remember how much, $2,000, $2,500 a year that guaranteed free parking spaces for UCCA members. And when you joined, you got a sticker that you could put on your golf cart. And in Barnacles, the Skinners were charging other park carts, but they had to hire a dock master to monitor that. Who's going to collect any money? Who's going to see to it that if you park, that you pay? And it turned out, I mean, they tried it for a year or two or more, whatever. It just wasn't paying off. They were having to pay somebody much more than they were taking in and parking. So the only thing with that idea, I don't mean to.
Well, that's where the video surveillance would come involved in that. If somebody was doing something that they weren't paying for, you could monitor that and then confront them and have them stop.
Well, who's going to do the monitoring?
Is it legal, Rich, to do that?
To have a camera, it's absolutely.
No, I mean to confront them after, you know, you can.
Well,
say
it's
them.
private property and they're doing it.
It's trespassing, yeah.
It's trespassing.
Okay.
So there is.
You can- yeah.
And I think if you only did one, made an example out of the first person that did it, I think people would get the message that it's not allowed and it would change things.
I mean, is there-
I'm not an advocate for surveillance myself, but in a situation like this where you can't control it, that might work. I've seen it work, you know, it works.
Yeah.
In New York, you're on video all over the place and if somebody does something, they're caught.
Especially the card stands.
Carts and packages.
Rich, what kind of prices have you gotten for the hut?
The one size I was looking at, they said if it was built on the mainland, it would be 10,000. If it's built out here, it'd be 20,000. But that was a little smaller than what I think we really need. So
I
might
don't-
be- you don't like that.
Just keep it small, but cheapers. Could we do a shed that wasn't a
Wait,
tiki hut?
Well, I really think that when people get off the boat, that's
There's a lot of suitcases go in and out of there. There's groceries that go in and out of there.
Or
The
just
mail
the-
goes
just
out
the
there.
people that are
The
standing,
people that are standing
waiting.
there. You wanted
for the
something
boat.
that's gonna be useful.
Swin is that-
Swin has his hand up.
Yeah. So, definitely, I think it's a good idea, for something to happen to that parcel. I had a conversation with Tom Capello a little over a week ago, and that back lot for them is problematic. You have obviously you have everyone coming on and off Island Girl there. Besides other areas of the island where there's illegal dumping, they quite often deal with people leaving the island just dumping their garbage there on their lot or in their back dumpsters, and it becomes a problem. So I had similarly, Rich, talked to Mainstay a little bit about that issue, and I think there's an opportunity here where if UCCA would sort of take over the grooming and the beautification of that lot, there might be an opportunity where they would trade, sort of what Sue Ann was talking about, that access to landing for UCCA members. Right now, they have an exclusive agreement with Island Girl, but that agreement is a year-to-year agreement where, perhaps they could change that agreement to allow island access during times that Island Girl's not landing there, right? If Island Girl's landing, then it'd be a no-touch zone. But at the times that they're not, they'd be there. So to me, we can kind of do two things here. If we're going to look to use that island access from that fund for a tiki hut and maybe keeping that area nice, I think there's an opportunity for us to actually gain that island access through this process.
Swin, do you want to work with Rich on this?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely work with Rich on it. Yeah.
Comment.
There's a comment here in the.
Bill?
Bill's got-
Swen, I'm not sure you heard, but Tom is actually one of the few folks in the physical audience here. Tom, did you want to add what was said?
And let me just say,
Tom, if you want to speak, we got to come up here, say good time. So it could be in the
So that-
recording and
so
everybody
that,
out, there's people online that want to get to.
so for your minutes, Tom Capello, Rebecca are here.
Carrie Williams.
Also Carrie Williams
And Carrie has something to say on this, so maybe before Tom can hear.
and AJ LaValle. That's our public that's here. You can't see them, so you don't know, but they are in attendance. You're welcome.
I'll let you ahead and shoot. I know you had something to say. Well, Swin accurately summarized our conversation. Obviously, it's a difficult deal to police that piece of property, which is a private piece of property, and we want to, always have it open to the islanders, and it's a, important piece of commercial dockage. What we had talked about was, potentially putting something back there as far as a trash facility, or some type of covered area for mail and everything that comes and goes. But it being the first impression for people on the island, it needs to improve. But from Mainstay's perspective, we can't have it be $100,000 line item for us to police that back lot. And with the surveillance and all that, I completely agree that it would change what happens back there. But for the surveilling side, there's somebody that's got to do it. From our standpoint, it's expensive. That's a job. I would discourage any type of big capital spend from the UCCA back there right now. Before the end of the year, we're going to submit engineer drawings for Butler building there, the warehouse, golf carts, be a welcome center, mail center, and property management center. So that's kind of our vision there. So that's going to happen in the short term. So as long as that takes something else, probably 18-month process. But in the meantime, I would like to see whatever you guys have in mind, and we're not interested in monetizing that short term. So, whatever you guys decide, it's kind of going to be as good as the island wants it to be, because it's just a lot behind our place. Our use for it is trash removal, essentially. So that's where I am.
How about more of a temporary tent sort of thing that can be removed when Tom, gets his more permanent building plans up? instead of a tiki hut, $20,000 tiki hut, well, like over on
You mean it,
Highland
you
Marina,
mean a
they
tent
got,
that can be put
Yeah,
up
they
and
got a
taken
tent,
down?
20 by
in
20.
other words, keep it there in the interim,
Right.
but not such a big permanent building expenditure.
I think
Nothing's
it would be
permanent.
a more reasonable approach. And Lee County in general, getting something approved is not difficult, it's just time consuming.
Mhm.
And, by the time you guys have a TT hut approved, we're gonna be hoping to break ground on what we're doing. So I wouldn't necessarily point down that path. Something more temporary seems more reasonable.
So I think the board has assigned Rich and he's asked Swin to help him, but I think there's nothing will get solved today. I think it's more just input, but I think you're gonna have to continue down the path of, based on this knowledge, right?
Yes.
Some more temporary kind of situation.
Gary got something to say.
Does anybody have any questions of Tom or of Rich?
Carrie Williams.
Hi. When those funds were solicited for the island access, the purpose is to have available funds in the event that other sources of moving onto and off of the island were to be a problem. And that was the reason that people voted to keep those funds unused for all the other great things that you do on the island. However, as everybody knows, in about a month or two, there's going to be a change at NCIC. And my recommendation is that there should be no consideration of using those funds for anything else until after that becomes clear what's going to happen at NCIC on transportation. That's my thought. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have anything on the topic? Any other questions? Okay, so Rich and Swin, you'll be working together and working with Tom, I assume, to see where this is going.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Next, we move to illegal dumping discussion. That's Rich.
That's
Well, I
Swin.
think they changed that to Swin's gonna deal with that problem, I
Yeah,
think.
and just to be clear,
Yeah, so
and look at that agenda item. It says island beautification.
We changed that, yeah.
Oh,
We
Yeah.
try to sort.
yeah. All good. So this topic goes a little hand in hand with Rich's sort of island access tiki hut. Same area that has been sort of a sore spot on the island is the parcel at 4430 Point House Trail that's right across from Tom's parcel where Island Girl lands. Has been pretty much a junkyard for the last, year, a little over a year. There is a code enforcement violation and actual lien on that property right now for the illegal storage and the illegal, dumping of everything from golf cart, like broken down golf carts to other general trash, and I think broken down appliances and things like that. I did speak with the owner of it. I haven't been able to go and look. Supposedly some of that has been cleaned up. I don't know that it's a solve for the entire thing. I think it's probably a temporary solve on the immediate view of the property. I think it just got moved to another part of the property. But overall, I think we've got to work as a community on holding really our island vendors you're responsible for getting rid of large junk. I mean, we also have a problem with some other small illegal dumping on individual land parcels, but these bigger areas like the area behind Mainstay, it's the first point that half the visitors to our island and quite a number of island homeowners and residents drop off of. And the worst thing you can see is just a huge pile of junk, thinking that, that's sort of the island dump. I think Danny keeps his area, which is, our commercial trash vendor, pretty nice and neat comparatively. So right now, that land parcel that has the junk problem, it's in county hands. There's a process. It's about 180-day plus process of going through, notifying the owner, creating a lien, which there is a lien. That property is accumulating $75 per day in fines that are accumulating for it. And then at some point, the county will step in and decide to hire a vendor to clean it up and clean it off and then bill the owner. But that process is still likely 90+ days away.
Okay.
Do you want to say any more about that or?
Well, that's Duncan's land, and we've had this discussion privately, Joanne.
Yeah.
It's his land, and I'm not gonna tell him what to do with it.
He hasn't told. us.
Obviously, I would like to see it look better, and I'll offer to contribute a privacy fence or, whatever it takes to get the waste off the island. But as far as being up in arms with Duncan, it's his property and it's a reflection on him, and that's where I'll leave it.
Well, the problem is though, that when people come into your restaurant, they see that first, and that's a
Certainly,
shame.
it's not a great thing for us.
No, and we are trying to do something, just so you know, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I think that, I just want to say that my big beef on, don't like to name names, but when most people get off the boat and they look across, they think it's your property. So it reflects
I
badly.
understand that, but it's
Right.
not, and, I had the opportunity to buy that property, and in hindsight, I really wish I had. And that's where we are.
Well, and we thought that he cleaned it up yesterday, and he just moved it down the road, I heard, so that's kind of.
I just feel for great things. I think we're doing lots of great things on the island, and you're in the vision of the island and what it needs to be, and you're taking the hit on that.
And maybe some of the homeowners that employ him that know that he's doing some illegal dumping, maybe they should consider using a different property manager.
They are already.
There are other options out there.
Yes.
All right. And
Yeah. So real quick, just when I spoke to him, I asked him, is it a logistics thing? Is it a money thing? And his feedback was it was just a time and logistics thing, that he needs to actually go through these golf carts and take parts and pieces off before he just junks them. And so I think, look, I think just the continued one-on-one from whoever is willing to do it, pressure on him to just please get it done, and everything. But if he doesn't, the county eventually will.
Well, that's what it's gonna come to, but I mean,
We've already talked about the county's gonna do something, whether he does or not, in less than 180 days. So while we wanna posture and throw darts to try to cajole, it's unlikely to happen, but the county's gonna take action and do it themselves. So I don't know, there's a timeline on this thing, I think, and the county will take care of it, I'm pretty sure.
And continuing to flog this dead horse
Doesn't help anything.
is not beneficial.
I just, my big thing is it needs to be put out on minutes, exactly what the facts are. So that people on the island know. Telling you people on the island do not know. I've asked around many people, and at least three out of 5 think it's your property.
And I understand that.
And I know you do. So what I'm saying is, we have a UCCA website. That UCCA website needs to put the facts out for the general public of this island. And then when people all of a sudden start thinking they're not, this isn't, they need to know.
So shall we list all the other code violations that are out there on the island, on our website, so everybody will know?
There's not as serious as that. Is there?
Are we gonna determine which is the most serious and say it's 3 or 5 or 10? We gotta be careful what we do. Because if we start down the road, we're gonna have to be consistent with everybody.
Yeah, the county already tracks all
This
code
is a
violations.
county,
They have a
this group-
website.
except log on the horse. I suggest.
And I think the county would be better than the acronym to make them enforce it.
I'm just saying it because I want it in the minutes and the minutes need to be accurate on the website. And that's my point for voicing it.
Where are we in the process? How far into the process are we? As far as the county action?
As far as the county is about 4 months. I believe this went into violation in early May, and it's gone back and forth through the notification process and initial hearing processes and failure to rectify it then. Right now, it's about to hit that 90-day period where they switch and they go into the selecting a vendor and getting a quote and having a vendor clean it all up and then billing the owner.
Okay.
So
Is there anything else on this topic? Any questions? Okay. Moving on, Bill, bylaws update.
And you're missing
no, we
exterior.
added exterior lighting.
Sorry?
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
She-
you.
Melissa isn't here.
Oh, she dropped off.
She's here. I see her.
Oh,
She's on.
The last really tiny when you got video, sorry.
She's online.
Okay.
So Jackie,
here.
just so you, the current agenda has exterior lighting with Melissa on it next.
Number
Okay,
8.
I have the wrong.
Wrong. agenda.
Okay, sorry. Okay, exterior lighting with Melissa, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I've been working on, I've got an infographic. It's a little bigger than a postcard with just some general information of the ordinance, you know, and why we should do what we're planning on doing and why it's an ordinance, why it's important to the island. I've also got a little mini checklist on there. I've got a few, just kind of an informational postcard in general for people, and they can contact me. And I've already had a handful of people contact me saying, can you come look at our property and make sure that we're in compliance with light trespass and, you know, things are pointed down and hooded. That's basically it. If most people can just look at that and make sure it's not shining on your neighbor. So I've got a list. So when I'm there for the centennial, I'll be there in a couple weeks. I'm gonna be doing some nighttime observations, and I'm gonna let people know what, you know, I think they can improve it if they need to improve anything. So and ways, you know, I also want to give people ways that, you know, can inexpensively correct it or fix it, you know, not that anything has to be completely redone, but so there's some ways. So I've got some ideas, I've got some printouts that I can give people on and links that you can, you know, where you can buy stuff inexpensively, and I'll even help, you know, do some of the things if needed. So that's where we are on it. So I've been, you know, kind of spreading the word around, you know, a little bit here and there, just kind of on social media, and people are very interested in it. So that's where we are.
Melissa, I have a question, or Melissa, when you get here, I'd like to work with you on the lighting for those people that live on the beach concerning turtle season and what is acceptable and what's not, because it's a huge, there's some huge violations, and those aren't laws that I make, those are state laws for Florida, and I just don't think people are aware of them here. And so maybe we need to kind of put that, I've got them into your little whatever you're gonna get for people to. 'Cause the more the
Absolutely.
better.
And what I made up really does not cover that at all, because I wasn't sure where you were on that, and if we make it a separate issue for just those homes that are on the beach or not. I mean, right now, it just talks about wildlife in general, you know, and this is why it's bad, just, you know, with the nocturnal activities. So I'm sorry, I don't know who was next.
We'll get together.
Sue Ann.
you say it's a postcard, I mean, we should absorb the cost of, do you want to mail that postcard? Is it printed it already or what?
It is not printed. Yeah, I've got some people looking over it just to make sure that, you know, if you were to receive this, you know, either on your door or in your mail, you know, how open are you to that? Is, you know, what do you think about it? So I'm getting some of that, and I might send it to you guys on the board just to see what you think. And then we can look at what the costs are of printing if I need to make something smaller. It's kind of a longer piece of cardboard right now. So, you know, it would be more like a size 10 envelope, your typical letter in the mail, but it's actually a postcard. So I can look into all those costs and see what it would be, and then get back to you guys and see if you're willing to help with it or absorb it or whatever, if you have the money for it.
Not you personally, of course.
No,
Thank
I think that as a civic association, that's one of the things that definitely we are behind and in support of, and, you know,
We will absorb.
we will absorb that for you. I mean, and we will help at least. Bill
Bill?
wants to speak.
You may want to check about the turtle lighting issue. There are rumors that the county actually imposes those standards on the whole island. Now, I don't know why that would be, but we all know that the county is fairly inconsistent.
Well,
In their
it's the
what it is
logistics. The bottom line is the logistics of that.
My
You-
point though is before you publish something, you want to make sure that it matches what the county says they do, because I've been told people got code violations for turtle light encroachment or whatever they called it, and they were nowhere near the beach.
You don't
Way
have to be near the beach. If you have a direct line that shines on the beach, then it's in violation. If you went to Sanibel Island, it's enforced tremendously. They have a posse that will enforce it. And the bottom line here is it's logistics. People know that it's pretty much not enforceable here. But working with Florida Fish and Wildlife, you know, they want to work on that because they know it's a problem. And they're more like, hey, if we're out in our boat and we see it, we'll address it. That's all I know.
The rule of thumb, if you can see the beach from your porch, then your porch light can be seen from the beach. So, I mean,
And that could be some of these high rises here that are on Rum Road here. I'm in their corner. You're on the beach and I can see the light on the top. That's in violation of.
Again, my point is before you publish something, make sure that it's consistent. Whatever inconsistency the county.
I would only publish what is law. And whether or not the county enforces it has nothing to do with the law.
yeah.
I'm sure Melissa will be very clear.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, I
does,
have looked at actually some of the turtle language, and I actually avoided it because I didn't want to overstep boundaries on that. Because some people think, well, I'm not on the beach, it doesn't matter about the turtles. Well, actually it does. So, and that's why I kind of wanted to educate people about that. So, but yeah, let's definitely get together and talk about how we can do this together, or, you know, how to approach it further. Very happy to do that.
Thank you, Melissa.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Good stuff, Melissa.
Thanks.
thank you. Anybody have any questions of Melissa? Anybody have any further comments on exterior lighting? Okay, moving on to the bylaws update, Bill.
The board agreed at the April board and April membership meetings that we would start doing review of the board bylaws that hadn't been updated or changed since October of 2012. We had 2 meetings by Zoom in July and August. We worked through a long list of proposals. We have agreement on most of the language in those 2 first meetings. Our final meeting for the year is also a Zoom session. It is scheduled for 20 November at 12 to 3. I'm sorry?
12 to 3, right?
3 PM on Saturday, the 20th of November. At that meeting, the board will decide what language to finalize and whether to propose those changes to the membership for vote. As a reminder, it takes a 2/3 majority of the members that vote, not of the members, but the members that vote for a bylaws change to be approved and become official. And that would be after the membership election, whether it passes or fails. Any questions?
Do you anticipate that we'll be finished with this one last meeting on November the 20th? Will that complete the review of the bylaws?
For this calendar year, that's what we agreed to at the board meeting, I believe, is that it would complete. And if we can come to an agreement and we agree to push it to the membership, it potentially could go on the December ballot.
Okay,
That's a decision that the board will make on the 20th of November when we complete review of the proposed language. And again, I believe that's what we agreed to on Monday.
okay. Anybody have any questions of Bill? Any comments on the bylaws? Okay. Moving on to Safe Harbor, Swin.
Yeah, I'll take that. So just an update there. So far, we've done 2 town hall meetings with the North Captiva community. The goal of those town halls is really to just inform the community that this proposed Safe Harbor Tree Houses development is working to get a zoning change on their parcel, which is also over on Point House Trail, and really just sort of educate the community on the process that it has to go through. Right now, the status is the same that it's been. On June 4th, the county sent a letter to Safe Harbor letting them know that their application was still considered insufficient by the county. And as of yet, Safe Harbor has not responded to that letter to bring their application to sufficiency. And before the county will even look at the idea of considering it for rezoning, they actually have to complete their application. So at this point, they haven't even completed the application process. I do plan to do a 3rd community town hall in a couple of weeks. The goal there isn't to flog a dead horse, not to just repeat everything we've already done, but to try to get to as many more community members who were not involved in the first 2, to make sure as many people are as informed of this proposed development as can be. After we do that town hall, we'll put together and send out a short survey to sort of get the feedback from the community on how they're feeling about this development. I can tell you from the first 2 meetings, there's definitely a large contingency adamantly against it. There's a contingency that, it's probably coming anyway, so why not work with them and try to, figure out them impacting Nyland in a positive way instead of what many view as a negative way. And then there are a few that, will just view that, hey, it's their property, they can do what they want. So the idea is to get that feedback from the community, see where we stand. Along the way through these town halls, I'm compiling a list of questions to present to Safe Harbor. And the 4th town hall will end up being a town hall with Safe Harbor, so they can basically convey to the community what their idea is for it, how they're gonna, try to offset their impact, and then basically just do a general Q&A with the community as well. So everyone can hear from them what their plans are for the parcel and everything. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's got to go through this county process. I won't go through that whole process right now. You can go to the UCCA website and view videos of the first 2 town halls. It'll take you through the entire process that this goes through with the county. And or, anyone who hasn't joined, we will have a 3rd town hall here in a couple of weeks and go through that. But as of right now, it's in a holding pattern. There's nothing moving forward with it as of now. But I have had conversations with both the engineer and the construction company, and they plan that it's all moving forward. So that's all indications right now, or they're moving forward with this development.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Swin? Okay. Any comments? All right. Moving on to the centennial update, that would be David.
Okay, so that's almost a full year ago. There were people that were on the island that didn't understanding that this year marks the 100th anniversary of North Captiva as an island, separated from Captiva. So a committee was formed and they started planning activities and other events that would go on this month during the full month of October. So there was not a dedicated website allocated to it, but I put up a website that we dedicated a page to it. The website is northcapcentral.com, and there's a page for Centennial, and that Centennial page has a calendar of events for the full month. There are events going on. There have already been events. There's been a 5K run. There's been a movie night at Mainstay. A bazaar is set up at the crossroads of Bartlett and Rum Road that are various vendors are there each Tuesday and Thursday. So there are different things going on through the month. You can see that all of those on the calendar. There's also an email list to subscribe to. UCCA has let me send out emails each week that would kind of keep it like what's going on this week, what events are coming up. So a new addition to that is merchandise. So there are island shirts. You guys can see the one I'm wearing, but it's the 100th anniversary.
Oh, this is nice.
So there's two things. There's an on-island store that has these that are already in hand. These T-shirts. They're sold at the bazaar every Tuesday and Thursday. You can go online to the website and order them, and then an email sent to Teresa, where you come by and pick them up at our house. They're $30 for the adult sizes and $25 for the youth size. And then you can also go on the website. There is a virtual store where you can go there and actually shop for other additional merchandise that's there for Centennial stuff, which includes long sleeve shirts and hoodies and all those things, where you can buy them. They're printed on demand and then shipped to your home. So wherever you are, so you don't have to be here on the island. So it's just two options to do that. For those of you who are here, I have and this will be up there at the bazaar. There's QR codes there. You can actually shop online by doing it here by just using that. There are stickers. If you want to put one on your golf cart or wherever it is, there's stickers and all that's raising funds for the activities that are going on this month. Swin, I don't know if you want to, I'm going to talk a little more about the details, but I just want to make sure everybody understands those funds are going to the nonprofit that you created into that PayPal account. So if you want to explain that briefly.
Sure. So recently, Melissa Everly and Laura Hartle and I have founded a North Captiva Conservation and Beautification Foundation nonprofit. And so we're sort of partnering with the Centennial to sort of start that process. These initial funds that will be flowing in, they're going to flow right back out in terms of expenses that are going on with putting on the Centennial. We don't really look to necessarily raise much from this process, but it's sort of just a start of that process.
Okay, thanks. So just so you know, on that website, there's also fundraising opportunities there for specific needs. One is the general fund that goes to the activities, the funding things that are going to go on, and there's also a kind of an interesting thing. There's a sculpture that Aaron DeLuca, local, if you ever seen any of his tiki art around where he does chainsaw stuff. He's in the process of developing a large sculpture out of eucalyptus wood that would include up to not like 9 animals from the island that represent the island. And that sculpture is intended to go at the crossroads that Steve Ward owns that property there right at NCIC and Rum Road and whatever, Bartlett, that little triangle. And so that's intent for that sculpture section. So Aaron's in the process of doing that, but there's funds needed to fund the wood and the things that go with that. So it's a month-long thing. It's going to be going on throughout almost the rest of the month. So there's activities around. Sign up for the emails just to get a thing, or you can get an email from the UCCA once a week that here's what's coming.
Okay, any questions of David? Any comments?
T-shirt.
I just like for David to pass on to all of the folks that are expending all this effort and the businesses that are supporting it with poker runs and with what's it called, the Hurricane Hustle and the other things, movie nights that he passed along the UCCA's thanks to all those businesses and all of those volunteers that are doing all the work.
And Tom Capallo has left, but he's certainly been very generous with his property. I mean, like the Hurricane Hustle started there, and the movie night is at his place, and so we're thankful that he's opened up his restaurant and property for the various activities that kind of are staged there, or okay.
Princess Bride tomorrow at 7:30 at Mainstay. Be there, be square.
Be there and be square.
No, or be square.
Well,
Okay. David, you're up on website membership update also?
Okay, just so the membership knows when it's going to be recorded so they can go look, but I did post this document to a summary of all the activities on the website, YouTube channel, membership, and email subscribers. So I'm going to go through this in case there are questions. But it is out there on the membership, the general meeting webpage. So our website, UCCA website, since the last meeting, this is since the July meeting when I reported last, we've added links to support the mosquito treatment for the Lee County Mosquito Control District. So you can report, you ask, hey, I need treatment for mosquitoes. We added a link there for the map so you can see when they treated and where they treated. We added the LCEC online reporting of a power outage. So in case you're out of power and you can use your phone, you could actually report I'm out of power as opposed to trying to find out where's the number, how do I get there? All the information either for online or a phone call is there. And also a view of the LCEC outage map. So if you wonder well, who else is out? So you can always see as I look at it, and that most of Captiva's out, then we're the last on the totem pole. So you can know until that stuff starts clearing up, we're not going to be getting power. So that's handy little links that are out there on the main page. I added a weather and local radar map plug in on the main page. So at the bottom, you can see the current, what the weather forecast is. You can see the actual, when storms are coming, tropical storms, you can see the radar with the wind directions and all those things in case you're concerned if it's approaching, is it close, how far is it away? So that's out there on the main page. In relation to the member profile, so every member, family, or household has a profile. When you signed up, you had the opportunity to enter information about your address, your island address, your home address, your email contacts, your phone numbers, your significant other's email, phone number, contact. I would encourage you all, if you haven't, to go there on the member page and log in to your account. You should have had an email and account login over time. But if that's not happened, there's a place to make note and contact us so we can help you get logged in. But what we do, if you keep that up to date and current with your address and your significant other, then there is an online function for what is similar to an island directory, but it's a membership directory that it's always stays up to date as we keep it up. So if you changed, your people go away, they're no longer members, if they come off that list. So you can go and actually see each member's contact information. You want to call them. We did ask in another time of like trying to update your house name. So the house name is on there. So we might not know where, like AJ, like from his address, but we might know his house name. Like, oh, I was wondering who owned that house. That's great. I can find him and give him lots of money for the roads or whatever else that you have in mind. So that member profile update's important to do. Again, if you don't know how to do that, just email info@civicassociation.org and I will get with you and make sure you're in. We also posted the videos that we're just discussing every general meeting. I produced that video from what we record here on Zoom, and that's available. So those that are not available because it's a Saturday meeting and the kids are doing soccer and they're off island, they can't attend, in about 3 or 4 days afterwards, there's usually a posting that goes out that has that video. So you can watch that this meeting if you so inclined to do. We also posted the town hall, Safe Harbor Town Hall videos, numbers 1 and 2, which Swin talked about. And we also, Bill Fry took a great deal of time to what we'll call index those town halls, so that there were a number of topics talked about, and he indexed those so that you can go to a certain topic of interest. If you see something there about how does the process work, you go right to that place, as opposed to watching the 1 hour previously or trying to scroll through the video to get there. So it just makes it easier to do the same.
Thank you.
As a part of that, we also have a YouTube channel, where we post those videos. And the good thing about the YouTube channel is that we can get feedback and details about how many people look at these videos and how long they do that. And so for the July membership meeting video, 15 views were done with a total of 3.3 hours of watch time. So that means 15 people that didn't, well, they could have attended in person, but they had the opportunity and they did view that, and they totally, all of them spent almost 3.5 hours. The Safe Harbor Town Hall number 1, in addition to the people who were online watching it, 81 views were made of that and 27.4 hours of watch time. So it seems like that was an interesting thing for people to go reference after the fact. That was good. The Safe Harbor Town Hall had 61 views and 24.9 hours of watch time. So if we assume most of all those people didn't watch both of them, let's say it's 140 people that actually watched those Safe Harbors, or at least some part of them. So I think that's helpful. And we have 12 subscribers to the YouTube channel for those people who do that kind of thing. That just means when a new video is posted, you automatically get a notice to say, hey, someone's been added to your YouTube, subscribe to your subscriptions. On the membership topic, so just so you know, the membership renewal process will get started soon. We try to, it's an annual item, so memberships run today from January 1st through December 31st. So what we'll do is send out those renewal notices via email that have a place where you could easily renew online and pay online if you want. There's still a process by which you can print out your page to do it manually and send a check. And it's got an address to mail it to. That's how you want to do that. And then they'll be updated. We'll try to start that soon. So when election time comes, everybody is up to speed as best they can. And also at the end of the year, we don't end up where, people find oh no, I can't see the member information anymore. What happened? Well, because your subscription expired. So we want to avoid that. So we'll reach out here soon on that. Currently, there are 153 member households or UCC members. And that is up from 146 in July. So some new of the people coming in clearly have joined UCCA as they've come online, even though it's in the middle of the year. There are 88 records with the house name in the profile data. And so that 88 records was up from 24 the last time. So there's a lot more memberships. 88 of the 153 actually have their house name in it, which is a good thing because we can, again, know who each other are a little better and build community that way. There are 30 first-time members in 2021, and there are 40 2020 members that no longer are active in 2021. And really, we see the likelihood a lot of people moved away off island and didn't renew, and some have joined. So there's not, I don't know, read any too much into that, but that's just the facts about the stats about it. Swin, how many properties you say changed hands this year?
Over 180 properties have changed hands in the last 18 months.
18 months. So a lot. Anyway. And 107 members out of that 153 have accessed their online account in 2021, which is good. That's a majority of folks. There are 527 current active email subscribers. I do want to make a plea here, and I don't know how else to, like, it's complicated a little, but when emails go out, they go out from UCCA, they go out from an email address called contact@uppercatfeepacificassociation.org. It goes out through a service that is actually designed to send out emails so that it doesn't appear to be spam to anybody. It's a legitimate source. However, providers like Gmail and MSN and others, those providers of email services have continued to add tools to try to weed out spam emails, because people get a lot, they complain and don't like it. And so whenever someone signs up to our email list, we send a confirmation email out so that it ensures they get it. And they have to confirm it. That's a requirement. If you don't do that kind of thing, then Gmail and other places mark you as a spam kind of provider. So we follow the rules. But I was working with Chief Martin, who was not any longer getting UCCA meeting notices. And he's like, I stopped getting them. I'm like, what happened? So I went round and round and round with his Gmail account, trying to figure out what happened. And as I find out, Gmail has added now a thing called promotion. They actually by default create, like, your inbox gets divided into three things. It gets divided into primary, which is your main email box, into your social, and promotions. And so when UCCA emails go out, they get lumped into that promotions tab, and therefore you don't see them unless you know about it. So if you're not getting your UCC emails, first check your junk folder to see, and then you can say that's not spam, or you can look in your promotion folder if you have a Gmail thing, and then make sure that you move that as it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just for 10 minutes.
All right. So and the other reason that's important is because when we do the election, the election is done through Election Buddy, which is a similar provider of services for online secure balloting, which means that you can only vote once, and it goes just to an individual. And the source that we're going to be using is your email address that you've identified in your UCCA profile. And it goes out from an email address called invitations@mail.electionbuddy.com. Last election, which I was involved in trying to monitor, people found that they couldn't find their email ballot, and they were concerned that we didn't do our job. When we researched it, what we found out is that it was going to their spam or junk folder. So just be aware when we announce there's going to be an election ballot going out, be aware that will come soon. And if you don't get one, first thing to do is check your junk folder, because that may be where it is. You can certainly contact me through email at info@uppercatfeepacificassociation.org, and we will work with you to get your election ballot in your hand, just like we did last year. But just know, it certainly helps if you've done first thing first, and that eliminates a lot of the calls. So, and that's all I have.
Okay.
One thing, please.
Yep.
I just want to thank you. I don't know an organization this size or community this size. I don't even know how easy or hard it is for you to do the stuff that you do. But this website and the information that's out there is phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough for what you do. Including the fire.
And I'm glad you addressed that. Did that answer your question about why you didn't get yours?
I happen, embarrassingly, I'm still an AOL user, and I had the same problem the chief did. I sent you.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
but yeah, good. Thanks, David. Well done.
I didn't,
Sorry, I'm getting mauled. Sit down, buddy.
I know you put that up as your timer, right? The timer on the dog, jump on me.
okay. Important dates. All right, I guess that's me. And Bill has already told us the November 20th is the next bylaws meeting. It's from 12 to 3 on November the 20th. And it will be a Zoom meeting too, right, David? So anybody can listen in. And other than that, we have the next board meeting scheduled for January the 4th at 12 o'clock. And the next general meeting is scheduled for January the 8th at 10 o'clock. I'll leave him in the room, Swin. He's so cute. Other than
He's
that.
ready for a walk.
Other than that, those are the only dates that I have. If I've missed anybody, please, if I've missed any, please tell me. But those are the only three things that we have scheduled in the future so far. Is there any other business?
The only thing that I wanted to bring up is usually we would invite the fire department and or AJ to let us know anything going on with the fire district or road update. And if AJ is there and available, is there a road update or anything?
Is AJ in the audience?
Here, he's coming forward.
It's raining.
I'll step over, yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually
I'll-
driving.
We don't want to.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
AJ, can you move over a little bit towards Joanne? You're, okay, good. Thank you.
How's that? Okay.
Better.
Yeah, as I think all of you do know, I do give an update every month at the fire board meeting. I also know that not everybody, not anywhere close to everybody attends it. I'm more inclined to throw out the questions if you have any about those issues. The initiatives continue. I think our methods are proving to be sound. I think many of you are aware that the Florida Gulf State University is starting a project to help us with even firming up our materials usage and some of the methods that we use. So I think we're on the right track, and I'm amazed we sit here well through the rainy season in reasonably good order. So that's kind of my comment. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Even with the king cuts, it's all right.
It was kind of a quiet little project we had, but I don't think that boat basin cracked a single drop of water the entire year. And that
We had
was
some good high tides last week.
crazy destructive. So
that worked.
yeah. It's all in all, I think
Thank you,
it's
Fred.
been good. Glad to do it, everybody.
It shouldn't be your job, but people who have watering irrigation systems, that it all runs into the road. I don't even know if their plants get any water, but I've got total blockage. I mean, this is before last night's rain, just,
The same problem area that we've
well,
had,
actually, this is west.
somebody knew.
I can't get to the beach.
I have, on a number of occasions, approached the landscapers on various properties, pointed out that there are some implications to the roads on what they're doing. I would say my results in getting through to them have been poor. So I don't know why that's so difficult. I think there's most properties that are offending are way over irrigated. There's absolutely no need for what they're doing. But it is very destructive for the roads. Any standing water is an issue.
And a hazard to our water table.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
The aquifer- It takes it out of the aquifer and it doesn't get
Wasteful.
That maybe that's a communication issue that the UCCA might pick up. There's.
Oh, was it a newsletter?
About a year ago. It may need to be a recurring thing, especially with all the owners that have changed and the new owners.
Maybe we
that are
can put
members.
some posters up here.
Yeah, as you notice, because of, one last comment on that point, standing water, you'll notice oftentimes the road is the only place that it's standing. It's because of the compaction that goes on with all that traffic. If everybody responsibly managed their water on their property, I don't mean kicking it down the road to your neighbor. I mean, if we created swales and places to hold a little bit of water, the percolation rates off the roads is 10 times better than it is on the roads. And again, I think that's a communication issue. It's my intent to, I kind of do an annual update on the roads in writing, and I'm going to kind of do a little piece about the responsibilities of each property owner. Wasn't gonna mention names, but there's some obvious ones. We all can see them.
And,
Yeah.
Well, I'll look at that one. Anything else?
Anything else for AJ? Thank you, AJ. Bill?
Gary has some news about iguanas. He had some contact with the Fish and Wildlife folks on what owners can do without permits. So Gary?
Yeah, I'm concerned about the iguanas, and I think other people are. I've seen 2 4-foot ones in Safe Harbor, and I've heard that there's an 8-foot one down on Drum Road.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
And, they eat the eggs of the turtles, and they also compete for the gopher turtle nests, and they eat their eggs, as well as vegetation. So they're very destructive. So I called FWC and I told them about this, and they acknowledged that they're on all the islands now. And they said, kill them. You're authorized to kill them. And so I was talking to the sheriff's office about using a gun. They said, you can shoot a gun on your property as long as the bullet doesn't leave the property, which sounds funny, but you can approach these iguanas fairly closely. I think a 22, I don't know that rat shot will get them, but a pellet pistol may. I don't think a BB gun would, but something has to be done because they're threatening the turtles and other wildlife.
I do have a question. What is that their recommendation? To shoot
They
them?
didn't recommend anything. I just asked them.
If it's okay, I knew that, but I mean,
Gary, I don't think in Safety Harbor you'll have to discharge a weapon.
but what
I think
other,
that might be one of the bylaws. in
how
Safety
else
Harbor.
are you gonna kill them?
Machete.
That's what,
I don't know.
a machete? Let's just put it this way, Mark,
You
won't
think that's
let me
better
put a
than a gun?
machete in my hand. No,
Worse
I,
than a gun? You think that's worse than a gun?
Wait a minute, Swin had her hand up. Swin, did you have?
So real quick, this isn't necessarily a quick solution, but I've done some research on the iguana stuff too, and there's actually a type of trap that could be set up where, if we investigate it a little bit more and plan it out, we may actually be able to use this type of trap. And it basically entails sort of building a little structure and using ripe bananas to sort of draw them out and bring them into this trap. But it's something that I'll send some information around, that maybe as a community, we pick a time period and we create a couple of these traps to sort of draw them out and capture them.
and what you do after you capture them.
Machete.
Well, you have to kill them. You kill them after you capture them, but as Carrie states, it's that might be a better way than people sitting with a pellet gun or a gun trying to keep a bullet or something from going straight from their property, right? And how many people are actually seeing them on their property? So.
Make fun of Kerry because he's from Texas that was shooting, but then he might say that you're from Chicago. It's the same problem. If you trap them, we can get rid of them for sure.
There is a guy that comes from some animal control, and he was here last summer doing the raccoons. I'm sure he's probably doing the iguanas also.
Well, Department of Agriculture.
the
I
Department of
remember.
Agriculture The Department of Ag let me out a trapper for the turtles this year, mainly, and it just goes back to the data that I send in. And so, long story short, I think last season we had over 100 nest turtles, and of those 60 were credited by coyotes, So he came out through a grant. So that might be a possibility too. He eradicated a number of coyotes. And from the time he left, June, the first week in June, I did not have not one predation of a turtle nest from the beginning of June onwards. So my total count was 137 in the park, and I only had 15 that were credited, and that was before he came out. So it really did work, and I'm like, we need to, he came from the Department of Agriculture, and it took a long time to get him out here so they saw that data. And it was like, our coyote population is still here, it's on, but not as much. And I say we be proactive and really find somebody to bring out to trap or to take care of it.
Maybe he would know.
Yeah, I'll check with him. For sure.
Eradicated is a nicer word than Carrie's kill.
Well.
Well,
It's the same thing.
We don't want anybody else to get in
I'm
the
just
line
gonna
of fire.
say
That's
that
the thing.
you have to go back to, are they indigenous to the island, and they're not, and with his trap, with his eradication, some even, and it happens on the island, false things came out about him taking out one of our bobcats, and it's just not true. He didn't, he asked, I'm like, they're not predators, they are minimal predators to the turtle eggs, but not worth taking out, and they're protected on the islands. No, he knew that too. You can't touch them, so he did it. But the coyotes are not, the iguanas are not. So that's why, if you don't take care of it early, they'll be like the coyotes. They're prolific, and we're gonna have more than we know what to do with.
Maybe we can add a bit to the centennial, an iguana roast.
Well, we can always hope for a hard freeze that would take care of them. So.
Okay, any other business? Anything that anybody wants to talk about? You have a nice dog, Swin. You just walked in.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, then I guess we're adjourned.
All right.
All right. Thanks all.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.